The Walt Disney Company is not having a great week because Disney was hit with major layoffs as hundreds were cut across the film, TV, and finance division. Now, Vash, this is strange because I was told that the Disney Company's doing great. I was told by Bob Iger at the last, shareholders meeting, and I've been told by every pixie duster, Dole Whipper, cupcaker that has flown into my comments to tell me how wrong I am whenever I say that things are not going well in the House of Mouse.
Oh yeah, I've heard a similar sentiment. Recently we had somebody comment and say, hey, there's been a string of hits lately for the Walt Disney Company in the form of like Lilo and Stitch, for example, and Inside Out 2, and all these, Mulan. I'm sorry, not Mulan, but Moana 2, and all these different things, right? And it's like, yes, that's true, but you have to include a lot of the bad things that have been happening, and not just with one division, obviously, but with a slew of divisions throughout the Walt Disney Company, which these layoffs unfortunately affect.
You know what, as Pro likes to say, we call balls and strikes on this channel. When Disney has a big win, we talk about it, we celebrate it, we congratulate them on it. But a lot of times the losses outweigh the wins, and we're seeing some of that going on right now because despite these big hits that you're talking about, Lilo and Stitch, Inside Out 2, Moana 2, Walt Disney Company has initiated a significant wave of layoffs. Another one, because it's not the first one, impacting several hundred employees globally across multiple divisions, according to a new exclusive report from Deadline. The cuts are affecting key areas of Disney entertainment, including film and television marketing, TV publicity, casting, development, and even parts of the company's corporate financial operations. This latest round marks the fourth wave of staff reductions in the past 10 months, and according to the report, its largest yet. While no full departments are being eliminated, the scope of the cuts across film and TV were described as roughly equal. The majority of affected employees within Disney Entertainment Television are based in Los Angeles, Vash. So that might be more of this push that we've been seeing in Disney outsourcing a lot of its TV and movie production, possibly into Canada and away from Los Angeles.
It's an interesting idea, especially in the midst of perhaps the 47th president of the United States, including tariffs and so forth. Mm-hmm. I find it interesting how they would want to go ahead and outsource at least some of this work to other countries, but it's demonstrable that it is cheaper and more beneficial for a lot of these media corporations going through a very transformational time in the industry to offload some of that U.S. workforce and some of that domestic production to international venues and so forth. So no surprise there. Although it may be a little bit surprising to those of us watching what's going on, in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, of course, restructuring is part of an ongoing cost-cutting initiative led by CEO Bob Iger, who, when he returned to the helm in late 2022, replacing Bob Chapek, immediately pledged $7.5 billion in reductions across the company. So we're still seeing that. And that plan resulted in the elimination of 7,000 jobs in 2023. And this newest wave is further evidence that the company's aggressive streamlining strategy is far from over. And, of course, this follows a supposedly strong earnings report. Just last month, Disney reported a better-than-expected financial result for Q2, fueled primarily by its theme parks and sports divisions. Operating income in the direct-to-consumer streaming segment rose sharply, jumping $289 million year over year to $336 million. Vash, this shows us that what we've always said, or what Jonas loves to say, is true. This is, first and foremost, a theme park company, an experiences company, a destination company, a cruise line company, and film and movies are apparently second place now.
And we have seen that on every single pretty much earnings report for the last, I want to say 6 years or so. I mean, when you just look at the parks division, it just overwhelms the other verticals within the company in terms of its revenue power. And we know largely that's due because the company has really sunk everything that it possibly has into streaming. And unfortunately, it's come at the cost of their very profitable linear network divisions, or TV distribution divisions, and so forth. And it's really sad for a lot of the executives who had to be laid off because of this, because of these decisions. Honestly, I think Deadline actually. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for just one moment. Actually, had a couple of specific names involved in this whole layoff process, and let me just go ahead and see if I can get some of those on screen right now. You can see that a lot of it has to do with Hulu, a lot of it has to do with 20th Television,
Right.
ABC, and the fallout from ABC Signature being folded into other divisions and so forth. So, and I know some people who work within Disney's linear network divisions and so forth. They're not happy. They're obviously very, very sad about what's happened here. And it's just we are. I think one source actually reached out to me and said, "Look, listen, we're a long way from Walt's vision for the company," is what they said.
Yeah,
And
you think?
it's sad. It's sad to see.
Well, and look, guys, I don't want our tone here to be misconstrued. We do not celebrate anyone ever losing their jobs. This is more just pointing out how Bob Iger has kind of been, I don't want to say lying to the shareholder, but he is missing. He's putting things out there in a way that can be interpreted in a way that he wants it to be interpreted. We are dealing with massive gains in experiences, but massive losses that are not even being offset by these huge gains. I mean, when you think about some of the some of the hits that the film division has had with Inside Out 2, with now with Lilo and Stitch, the fact that they are still struggling and they've got Avatar coming down the pipeline, the fact that they're still not a profitable division of the company, that is definitely saying something, Vash.
It really is. It really is, because this company should be far more balanced, right? This company should be far more. The verticals should be able to sustain themselves, and unfortunately, that's just not what we're seeing. We are seeing the parks basically, take the entire burden of the entirety of the Walt Disney Company on its back, right, and suffering as a result. But also, too, you just have some really brain dead decisions being pulled, not just by the executive ranks, not just by C-suite, but also from within those verticals that is contributing to this problem. And unfortunately, there are consequences for bad decisions and bad actions, and this is part of that. Now, I understand that we've had, I think, this is the fourth wave of layoffs since Bob Iger has returned to the company, saying that he was going to clean house. Like, I get that whole part of it, but to still be laying off to such a degree in the realm of hundreds this late in the game, I think it speaks to just how well or not well this company is performing in general.
Where do you think the drain is coming from mostly? Do you think it's mostly coming from film? And I think it's coming from TV. I think it's coming from streaming.
Yeah, I think it's linear TV. And honestly, this is what Nelson Peltz was talking about, right? He's like, look, listen, you wanted to get out of TV supposedly in order to get into streaming. It's quite the decision, but okay. Then why'd you purchase 20th Century Fox that had so many linear TV assets? I think it was like 60% or something like that. It's like, this doesn't make much sense. And now we're starting to clear house the big way.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.